Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. It is Sunday, and this year I've relaunched the Sunday MCU. So we play a variety of different tabletop role-playing games set in or inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yes, of course, we pull lots of comics stuff into the fray as if we were Kevin Feige's of our own. And please don't sue us, Marvel. We make no money from this. I don't even monetize my channel. So, you know, don't come at me. I know you have lots of money and lawyers, but we're having fun. So, this is the kickoff, the first full session. We've had a couple of session zeros of a Forged in the Dark game that I found on Itch that has been highly recommended by folks from the Open Hearth community. We're all from the Open Hearth community. This game is called Capes in the Dark, and it is a pay what you want Forged in the Dark game. Forged in the Dark is popularized by Blaze in the Dark, which I'm given to believe people are starting to know that that is a game that exists, which is lovely because it's pretty darn cool. This is a superheroes themed hack of Forged in the Dark. A couple of aspects of it that intrigue me the most are that it has some new approaches to things in the special rules of when people max out their stress, meaning you've been beaten down too bad. There's a new inspired by another game, but a new approach to that, which I'm excited about. And then a couple of things, reputation, which works within how folks see your team, and esteem, which is a tracker that is modified by your actions. It's a little bit of a morality tracker. So I'm curious about how that will impact our play because acts of villainy and heroism can move that track back and forth and mechanically impact how people will react to your characters. While we are all pretty comfortable with the characters you've created because we've gone through two iterations of Session Zero, this is our first introduction to them in game and recorded. So I'd like to go around the horn and ask folks to introduce themselves and share your favorite or the first one you can think of MCU movie or TV series or one that you're interested in right now. And then tell us about your character. I know I put work on you that I didn't prep you for. So I'm throwing Kai into the hot water first. Kai, if you could introduce yourself, tell us about your favorite MCU property of the moment, and then your character.
Oh, hi. I'm Kai. I use they them pronouns. Um, I guess the one I'm most interested in right now is that the second Born Again season of Daredevil is supposed to have Jessica Jones back in it, and Jessica Jones is my absolute favorite. Um, I'm going to be playing is it Frank? I'm playing Loomis. I'm playing Vulture. I'm playing Vulture from the Spider-Man movie. Which one was it that he was in?
Homecoming
Um,
was the first one
Homecoming, right?
of the
So
latest trilogy.
yeah, the one with Holland in it. Um, right? Anyway,
Yes. Yep.
so he's the one that you know, was the father figure that not the father figure that Spider-Man wanted, but the one that he deserved. I don't know in that film.
The scariest of the father figures for
Right.
sure.
Um, and um he's the one that could convert like alien technology, shield technology into badass set of wings. But he has served his time and is now doing um, uh, public service by using his talents and knowledge to help rebuild the city as it gets torn down by different Avengers movies. Um, and he does so through uh, the She-Hulk law firm and is on again, off again with was it Madam Menace, Sunset Bane, Bane, not the Batman Bane, but
It's correct.
She
Sunset
might she
Bane.
might still be able yeah, she might still be able to break me over her knee. I don't know. We will have to find out.
It
So,
must break you.
but yeah, like he's struggling with how people view him. He's struggling with uh the frustration that comes from knowing how um the system works and not being, rich enough to, be in control of it. Um, and he's lost his, uh, he's essentially lost his family. So, also being a lonely dad kind of thing.
Yeah, he knows where they are. They just don't want him around
Right.
because he's a criminal. Excellent. Thank you very much, Kai. The other two, maybe I should have chose you for. Now you got a lot to live up to. I think you can, though. Zach, if you could introduce yourself, tell us about your favorite MCU property of the moment, and then tell us about your wonderful character.
Hi, my name is Zach, he, him. I think right now, my favorite movie or the movie I have enjoyed pondering and thinking about the most is Thunderbolts. I think overall, my favorite movie is still Captain America: Civil War. Uh, I thoroughly enjoy it and can rewatch it over and over again. I am playing Sabine Hartwell, whose code name is Crucible. She is a heat-bending mutant. Her body can transform into essentially like lava and charcoal. And uh, she also was a victim of the Thanos snap, so she disappeared. And when she returned, all of her remaining family members were either had disappeared or had died. So she kind of uh, lived with neighbors and was really invested in the communities of New York. And that's been kind of her focus as a way to push away her pain or the difficult emotions. She just keeps herself busy looking out for people around her. So there's a little bit of some shared uh, circumstances with Vulture. Um, and in fact, she actually sees him as kind of maybe not quite a father figure, but at least like a mentor, and looks up to him. She's someone who's quiet and resourceful, but very, I think she's probably more like protective and reactive than she is proactive at stopping threats, um, which also has caused, probably caused some conflict with the other people on her team. So that is Crucible.
Delightful. Excellent. And last but not least is our buddy Rod. If you could introduce yourself, tell us about your favorite Marvel property of the moment, and tell us about your character.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rodhy Him, and let's see. I guess favorite at the moment maybe Agatha all along. Um, uh, but there's a lot of it, both Daredevil and Captain America, which were mentioned were awesome. Um, and I'm playing Nico Minoru, who is part of she was part of the Runaways, which was a group of kids who found out their parents were actually supervillains, the members of the Pride. Um, I'm drawing from the comic, from the TV series, so things might not be accurate to whichever canon you might hold to, but
But
I'll just be
but not from Friendly Neighborhood.
but not from Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, because I've only seen like one or two episodes of that one. Yeah, so well, I guess we'll be making our own canon. Uh, what else? Yeah, I think Nico was also taken by the snap. She's come back. She's a magic using character. And I think at this point she wants to learn more about magic to prevent things like being taken away from the snap. And she thinks she needs to do it yesterday. And she's seeking to be to learn some stuff from Doctor Strange in New York. Um, and what else? I think that's it, and then we'll discover more about her as we play.
Excellent. It's good. Kay is part of the group, but it's Father's Day, and Kay's spending it with family, and that is a-okay. I highly encourage folks to take your time with your family and stuff.
Rod, what can you tell us about Nico's magical powers? Since I haven't, like, I know of the character, but I've never actually seen any of the properties she's in.
So I gave her a little bit of flight, just as a thing she can do, but her main magic comes from a magical artifact called the Staff of One, which is tied to her family. She summons it with blood, like she'll just like pinprick herself, and it'll emerge from her chest magically. Um, and the conceit is that she can cast any magic spell, but only once. She tries to cast a magic spell twice, something chaotic will happen, either, and that'll be up to Rich to have fun with deciding how severe that would be. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, we want to limit her powers somewhat. So even though I say any magic spell, maybe we can play it so that it's not overpowered.
Yeah, I'm not worried about overpowered. We have a structure. Like you'll have to roll some dice, and I think we'll work through it. I'm excited to see it in play. And we also have the ability to talk it through if someone feels like, yeah, well, maybe maybe we come up with some limits, then we'll talk it
Yeah.
through and figure it out. That broaches we do have some safety tools that are standard to the open hearth. We use lines, which means that the players have pre-indicated lines that are hard limits, things we don't want to cross, as are places we don't want this story to go. We also have veils. These are things where we're okay if it occurs in the universe or our story, but we don't want to focus on it. So we will pan away or fade to black if that happens. For example, I put a veil. Ooh, cool background, Zach. I just saw it. Sorry. Veil on sexual content. So if two characters starting to get intimate, they're going to hook up. We accept that's a thing that happened to our story, but we hear some saxophone music, we fade to black, and then we pick up later. And then the last and trickiest is ask first, which means maybe contextually this could be okay, but before you introduce it, have a quick chat. And one that I absolutely applaud is a ask first is someone's indicated mind control against PCs. Notice that they only said PCs, so I guess you guys are okay with mind control on NPCs. So I don't know how that says anything. But anyway, no, if someone is going to use mind control on your character, we need to, even I as the GM would say, hey, how do you feel about so? And you can absolutely say, can we try it a different way? Can we do something else? That's okay, right? The someone's inspiration or a cool idea does not trump your fun or your comfort, right? So there's all of that. If you guys are cool, I've like a wee bit of box text to just jump us into something because I'd love to kick off with a bit of a two. I'm going to alternate between Marvel Cinematic Universe, television, movie, cinematography, cuts and angles, and also occasionally comic book things. So you will open up to a splash page, as it were. And my bit here is the early evening hum of Jackson Heights is anything but peaceful tonight. 74th Street and Broadway Station roars beneath your feet, but even the constant rumble of the subway cannot drown out the shriek of polyurethane wheels grinding steel rails and the thunk of bodies landing hard, too hard on concrete. The three of you together, you round the corner past rooftop playground on top of PS 69. That's when you see them. Four skaters taking the rooftops of Roosevelt Avenue like a broken video game level, air walking across gaps, wall riding brick facades, and leading trails of glowing sigils like graffiti made of fire and static. One of them wearing a helmet cam and a jacket that glitches like corrupted pixels, kicks off of a rooftop ledge, spiraling in midair. As they twist, the sky momentarily tears like a gif of reality buffering. They land impossibly on a hovering drone, riding it like a magic carpet over Jackson Heights food court. Cars below them swerve, horns blare. You hear someone scream, and there's an MTA bus that clips a summoned ramp of arcane light, and it skids hard into a halal cart, spilling hot oil and smoke into the intersection. And above it all, plastered across nearby billboards, they are streaming this craziness. You see a chat window scrolling in real time. Yo, Crash.exe about to break physics. Low res got that dark filter. This is cursed AF. I love it. One of the skaters, wrapped in chain link and sparks, turns to look right at you, Crucible. Their mouth doesn't move, but you hear it in your head, in your comms, across your phones. You're late to the stream. Want to catch up? You've heard about these punks. They call themselves the 404s, the not founds. They're a skater cult of the algorithm, and they are here to do six stunts, stream it live, get all of the clicks, and they don't care what chaos they leave in their wake. So that is what you all see. Vulture, what do you do? You are muted, Kai.
Um, where am I?
You're in Jackson Heights
Okay.
in New
Was I
York
here?
City.
Was I here chasing these people, or was I here um
I
by
think you are
coincidence?
aware of their presence, so you
Okay,
could be as prepared as you would like.
I see. Okay. Um, I will say that I was trying to get my food from the halal cart when the bus
Clips it.
came.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to save the person that brought the cart there, the cart
Oh,
person.
that sounds awesome because oil is spilling everywhere. Let's hit dice with that. Let's see if you can save this person from the chaos of the bus, the halal cart, the spilling oil. You tell me what uh, action you would like to take, and then we will set our position and effect.
Okay. And that's a feature of Blades in the Dark is that I always decide, right?
Yes.
Okay. I, oh, thank you for making it bigger.
Yeah, I realized I did
Uh,
that on Sister Grimm and didn't do it on the others, but I thought that the actions were a little on the small side for my old eyes.
I'm going to try to maneuver.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, maneuver. Um, that is perfectly suitable as a.
Either that
Mhm.
or I'll just take the when you don't get a perfect roll, there's like consequences or whatever. I could just take the consequence or something. I don't know, like, but yeah, maneuver if we're going to dice.
Yeah, let's go to dice. I'm interested in hitting dice early so that we can get a couple of those out of the way. I know not
Okay.
everyone is super comfortable in the system, whereas you are pretty good at this stuff. So I will rely upon that. We're going to say that you're having standard effect and you are in a crap position. What is the default position? I am
Okay.
trying to.
Well, I would like to I don't want there to be any harm to the person. Could I trade position for effect and say I'm in a really bad position? I can't remember the words.
So
Really
you're,
bad position.
yeah, I had to look it up again. So there's controlled, risky, and desperate positions. I think you're in a
Desperate.
risky position, and you're having standard effects. So you're saying you're willing to take a desperate position for yourself to try to
For,
guarantee some of theirs.
yeah, for
Theirs?
greater effect.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. That sounds great. Let's do that. So you're trading position for effect, which means that you're willfully putting yourself in a worse position in order to have a greater effect. That sounds great to me. It doesn't affect your dice, that just affects the end result options that we have. Let's see here. You are engaging the maneuver, which means that you have one die to start. Would you like a devil's bargain?
What is the bargain offered?
The bargain I offer you is that the 404s, if you accept this, they know who you are and are not going to be surprised when you whip out your vulture wings and doodads.
Okay. I will try to act surprised when they don't act surprised then. I will take that.
Excellent. That will give you a second die. And now that devil's bargain, now that it's accepted, it's true. Whether you succeed or fail, they're aware. Oh yeah, that's the old guy who has the weird wings that we will
And if I
totally
had
wreck.
chosen not to go with that, I could have spent stress to get an extra die. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to roll 2d6.
Yeah. I am
I think
curious
that,
how the low on like this seems to be a little bit lower on dice than on like your action dots. So I'm curious how this is going to roll.
yeah, I was looking at that. But I didn't choose to put anything at two.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't see anything. Oh, wait, let me take a look at my abilities again. Oh, okay. Mine's
Yeah,
about
you have
inventing or
crafting.
crafting new technique.
It
So,
is.
okay,
Yep.
that doesn't come into play. All right, 2d6. Uh,
Okay. A three and a
whoa,
one. Oh
ouchie.
my. Okay,
That
on a
is not
one
what I
to a
was hoping for.
three. So you what you do is you roll your pool of dice and you're looking for the highest single die result that will indicate your success or failure. You have a one and a three. One to three is a poor result, or a failure. So that's great. Um, Now, I think because this is the MCU, and you traded your effect for putting yourself in a desperate position, I'm going to say that you do successfully push the halal cart worker out of the way.
Okay.
That happens. I'm not interested in the failure being on them, it's on you. And I think what I'm going to say as far as the result of your failure is that you get caught up in the cart and a lot of that burning oil spills on you. And I would like for you to, so I'm going to say it's two stress coming your way. Now, I'll pause because as you already are expecting this coming, guy, you can resist that if you are willing to, because I think there's no harm, or am I remembering
There's
incorrectly? I think this get.
conditions here.
Oh, that's right, it's conditions. So I could say instead you get a condition. Let me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
So
and
so the.
you choose like a stat block. Okay,
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to say it was stress. I messed up. The stress is what you'd wager if you wanted to resist this. So I'm going to say that
cool.
it is a level two condition coming at you.
Okay.
If you accept it, cool. It is what it is. If you want to resist it, you tell me how, and then you'd roll to resist the action.
if I resist it, does it go from level 2 to level 1, or does it go from level 2 to 0?
I'm going to say that if you resist it, and double check that I use. Okay. It does not appear to me. You do not have armor, correct?
I don't have any of my assets loaded out for a mission, no.
Okay.
I do have armor on my list of things I could have, but
Or do you want to say
uh,
you have armor?
what I want to do is to have a tool, like some sort of gadget, do something, but like I still want to get hurt. So that's what I want to have happen.
Okay. So then you can armor will if you declare you have armor, that will take it from basically a level 2 harm to a level 1 harm, and then you could resist it and take no harm. Or you can just not declare that, resist, and take one and not have used up any of your gear. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I know it'd be of a bigger choice. Well, unless we are going to do loadout. Um, but
Why would you not do loadout? I mean, it's part of the game,
yeah.
so feel free
Yeah.
to
Well,
give
yeah,
yourself a
normally you do
loadout.
that before the mission. So I'm
That's
gonna,
true.
if I take armor,
Choose your
I
load
go,
right now.
right. Um, if I choose armor, it'll go down to a level 1 condition.
If you choose armor, it will take it from a level 2 to a level 1. Resistance
Perfect.
or no
That's what I
resistance.
want. That's what I want. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I equip armor, um, and uh, I'll take a -1 effect to tenacity.
Neat.
Okay.
So, if you
And
notice in the
yeah,
actions, they are. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Kai. I just wanted to
no,
point
that's
out
great.
that tenacity is the like bracket over clash maneuver and wreck. When you take a condition, it impacts the bracket. I'm sure there's a name for it. Um, but that means that there is a -1 effect. And in fact, if you take a look at this very cleverly designed character keeper that I did not make, the game designer released it with their game. It will show when you have like there's a -1 over vulture character keeper under tenacity because you chose that -1 effect. And I think burning oil is the thing. And you're just choosing the armor and not resisting because you think that's interesting. Oh, can you choose one load, either light or medium, not light and medium?
Oh, sorry, I meant to do light. Yep,
Okay.
there we go.
So, yeah, again, you guys were kind of scouting Jackson Heights because they're streaming. They're not hard to find. Just tune into their channel and give them exactly what they want, which is your eyeballs. And then you can choose your assets. So if you look on row 50, there's a thing called load. There are three loads: light, medium, and heavy. There's a narrative indication for that load and then a mechanical indication as well. If you say, I have a light load, you just you look pretty much just like everybody else. If you say, I have a heavy load, then you are loaded for bear. Like you have a golf bag for your guns kind of idea. People will clock you are prepared for trouble. But a light load means that you can only select so many of the potential of your assets. So you have a kind of quantum box of stuff that you can pull out at any time when it seems interesting for your character to have this particular thing. For example, Sister Grimm, you have armor or maybe you don't. It's all part of the load. So if you say I've got a medium armor, you choose medium. That means that you get enough boxes until there's a little checkbox and a number underneath that. And if you take that armor, then it takes up two of your total boxes. I can't remember how many you have. There we go. You have 5 slots at medium. So for example, um, a disguise kit looks like it takes up 2 ticks. So that's a full outfit that helps you blend in as well as legitimate seeming identification in documents. You would mark two out of your load for those two check boxes. But the things that have a zero beside them means that they do not count as load. They're just cool things that your character or playbook has access to. That's a whole lot. Don't stress about it. If you just, for now, choose one of those load boxes that you think, oh, I'm definitely ready for this, or nah, I want to blend in, that's more important to me, or middle of the road, which is what most people choose, and that's a okay. So, Vulture, you hit with burning oil. That is a great effect that you've written down there. That makes perfect sense to me. And that person will definitely post about you on Facebook positively. Um, they don't have many followers, but maybe someone else will catch up on it.
Um,
Crucible. Oh,
but
sorry.
some piece of like vulture technology does like surround my chest, but I think like my cool jacket is like burning, you
Ooh,
know.
you're
So
awesome! Like fuzzy jacket with the fur
what
on it
makes it
is
look like a
burning a little bit.
vulture? Yeah.
Dang. Okay. That sucks. We can't take that away from you. Not in the first scene. Crucible. You
Mm-hmm.
just saw Vulture jump in to try to help somebody out and pay a bit of a price for it. Those 404s are still out pulling sick moves like they are playing Tony Hawk with all the cheat codes on. Oh, cheat code. Or one out. Anyway, what do you wish to do?
So you had said in the intro that they looked at me and did they
Yeah.
recognize me or I recognized them? I forgot what you said.
You're very. They recognized you. One of them says, "Hey, you're late to the
Okay.
stream. Want to catch up?"
Do I know if they are actually humans or would I think that maybe they are a program to look like humans?
Uh, it's a great question because they are, for all of their streaming and antics, they are somewhat obfuscated from easy sight. Um, Here's what I'll give you. If you want to make a quick gathering information roll,
Yeah.
kind of like a flashback in a way. I'll let you roll to see what you know about them. And tell me how you researched this before we arrived at this moment.
I
Flashback.
think the bulk of the research is actually done by my friend Cruz.
Cool.
Um, I had heard about them and in maybe my like preliminary searches couldn't find anything, so I enlisted his aid and kind of directed him maybe like looking over his shoulder while he searched like his databases. Um, and I think maybe just like kind of with a collaborative effort, tried to see what we could find out about who they were and like if anybody's payrolling them or if they even
All
actually
right.
exist.
Awesome. So let's have you hit some dice for this. I'm going to call this a zero stress flashback because I hard framed you guys into this scene. So I'm being a little forgiving on that. Normally, you can call for a flashback at any time. But if it's like, I want a flashback that I have a tank, I may say, okay, well, that's going to cost you a couple of stress to like have arranged this crazy thing. But for now, zero stress flashback to you working with crews to figure out who are the 404, the not found. You're the one who's going to roll dice though.
Hmm.
He's going to give you a die because he is a ally of yours for an investigate roll. But if you want to say you want to engage a different action, you tell me what it is. It'll probably just change your position, possibly your
Okay.
effect.
Investigate is the stat really well that I was
Correct.
leaning towards.
Oh,
So
perfect. So that means you've got two dice. Um, do you want to take a devil's bargain to get a third die?
I would like to hear a devil's bargain.
The devil's bargain I'll offer you is that regardless of Cruz and your investigation, they're aware of your research into them.
I like that. So I want to take that third
Okay,
die.
that's three dice then. And let's go ahead and have you roll it. You're gathering information, which I put that underneath everybody's profile pic on your character tab.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
All right. I noticed Kai did not but custom input a name, so your name looks like Mixelpix thing for some reason to me. Sorry, I'm crossing the streams to talk about DC stuff.
So I did hit post. I don't know if it rolled anything.
It did not. Um, did you add dice? I know you've rolled on this successfully before.
Yeah, I did. I did the
Yeah, you
3d6
did the
in
tab.
the little cell there, but I
In
have
the
a
text thingy?
yeah. The six-sided die has a three icon next to it below that, but I can't click post anymore. So I'm just gonna ho try to refresh this page and try again here.
Okay. And you could also just type in 3D6 in the text line to see if that works. We're playing with Mad Dice, and I am still becoming more familiar. Boom, that
There we
landed.
go.
Landed quite well. Look at that. You got a 6 out of it. So, with a full success, feel free to ask a couple questions. Uh, so the question you'd already asked that I will answer, you'll get a second, like a follow up, is um, these are three of them here. So um, what Cruz tells you is, yeah, these are people. Johnny Gallo, Cassie St. Commons, and Hobart Brown. I don't know about the fourth one, but yeah, Cassie, she actually goes to the rec center. She hasn't been there in a while, but and you remember Cassie from say you've been here for a few months. A few months ago, she was hovering around the rec center, um, and attending, getting ready to attend ESU, Empire State University. So that is what you know is that they are, at least three of them are people. They're all post high school, college age individuals. And they are a skater cult of the algorithm. They believe that the Cathax, which is the name that the evil uh, language, learning language algorithm, they call it Cathax. Oh, they believe that it is a digital messiah. So that's the information you have.
Okay.
Um, what would you like to do?
Was I able to a ask one more question?
You may ask
Or
a follow-up question. Absolutely.
okay. I think do I know maybe like where their central hangout or hub is?
You do. Cruz, before his um, power brick was fried, was able to identify a number of pings for them where they start streaming not far from Brooklyn's Navy Yard.
Okay. Is so I see what happens to Vulture
Hmm.
in the present. Is Nico around as well, or is she
Rod,
like
is
further?
Nico around with you with them, or is she just nearby?
I mean, I could say that Nico and me were out for whatever reason, so I'll be right there if you need me.
Okay. I think then I will, as soon as I see them like zoom by, I'll turn to you and it's like, I know these people. Uh, my contact Cruz says that they hang out by the The Brooklyn Navy Yard.
It's like 8 miles away, which in New York means at least half, at the very least half an
Oh
hour.
yeah. Jeez.
Uh, do we like have like a primary transportation
I don't
between the
know.
three
Did you
of
guys
us?
choose that for the Mavericks?
I don't think
Looks
we've,
like you have an infirmary and a workshop.
Womp womp.
yeah. Look around for an e-scooter then maybe. Um, so I say like I should just relay that information to you quickly, but then I think that's when Vulture takes a hit. So I'm gonna run over to him to try to see if I can put the fire out or absorb it into my body.
Ooh, that's awesome. You are made for this. Perfect. Um, Fantastics then. You are going to move over to try to save Vulture, and I'm interested. So he's not continuing to burn. Maybe this is let's take a look here. Could that be you resisting in a way for him? I like that. So you're going to use your flame powers to
Okay.
try to draw off what is affecting Vulture, and you're effectively making a resistance roll for Kai's character. Kai, are you okay with that? It would
Yeah, no, that'd
relieve
be
the
great.
condition. Okay, cool. Because I knew you chose to take the condition. I didn't want to. Okay, awesome. So you're protecting another character by making a resistance roll for them.
Okay.
Um, what you're going to do is tell me what action you're engaging, um, and then you will be rolling not on that action, but on that bracket. So if you said, I'm using my powers, well, using your powers can all trigger a number of different actions. So you just tell me how you're doing it. It could easily be a maneuver where you're trying to move quickly and draw the power in. You have a tenacity of two, an affinity of two, and an acuity of two. So, but mechanically, it's all the same. We're
Okay.
just giving a bit of color to why you're
Yeah.
rolling the two dice.
Yeah. I think it probably is maneuver seems of the three options seems to be the one that fits the best. I don't have any dots in that, but since it's resist, that doesn't matter.
Correct. And
Okay.
also, you're using your powers, which gives you an extra die, I just read.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
yay. That means you get to add another die to that.
So is that three then?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I don't think it matters necessarily here, but for my loadout, I forgot to say in the intro that Crucible is a mutant. So I think her loadout is going to be light because I think she wants to blend in as much as possible with people. Um, I would imagine like because her skin can turn into that kind of like hardened magma,
Hot magma.
that would probably be armor of some sort.
Yeah, I
But
would
we don't
agree.
think we can get there when we get there. So I'll do the three dice and hopefully it'll work the first time this time. Is there anything else I need to know before I roll?
No.
Okay.
And in fact, when you resist, there's no like devil's bargain. You don't spin stress because it's going to cost you stress based on how you roll.
Okay. There we go. 2, 4, 5.
Great. So the way that a resistance roll works is very different from the way the other rolls work. When you roll a resistance, you say, okay, I don't want Vulture to have to take this condition. I'm drawing it in with my powers over fire. It happens. Vulture's condition is now gone. You interdicted and maybe there's a little bit of like, cosmetic burn, but the jacket is fine, as is Vulture. What you were risking was stress. And if you'd rolled, like it's six stress and you're rolling against that, you take your highest die and compare it against the six, which means that you took one stress to do that action because you rolled a five. That was the highest of the three dice results that you have.
Okay.
So, what does that look like? Like, what is Crucible, who just looks like a regular person on the street, and now she steps in and draws that burning oil from hurting Vulture? What does that look like?
I think it probably kind of very like symbolically and literally rolls up her sleeve and then like both sleeves and puts her hands on that. the area where it's burning, and then just kind of kind of like that heat that rises above her arms as it like pulls all the energy pulls into her skin, and then the camera would see just kind of like her hands and arms up to her elbow start to turn into that hardened lava with a little like fissure lines of like the molten
That's
aspects.
awesome.
And then it goes into like into her body, and we see that effect for several seconds um, before she's able to like kind of push back her normal skin, covering up over that effect. So it's just like taking all the heat.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Vulture, you are saved by the youngin.
Woot.
Sister
My
Grimm.
jacket is saved.
It's a nice jacket. Sister Grimm, you just saw this crazy series of actions from the 404. The aftermath is still being felt. Vulture saved a person from being hit by a bus and almost got burned up for it, but was saved by your friend Sabine, aka Crucible. Sister Grimm. They're still there, and in fact, it looks like while they've paused for a little bit, they're starting to maybe move on a little bit. What do you wish to do?
So they're just kind of skateboarding on air along the walls, and
Uh-huh. They
um,
are drawing heavy magic to do what they are doing. You can taste it on the air.
oh, uh, uh, yeah. So how would it work if I wanted to target all of them? Does that does that
That will
yeah?
affect how hard it is to try to target all of them, but if you are willing to go for it, then I am willing to set that up with you. What do you want to set? What do you want to try to target all of them with?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna say, well, I guess you'll tell me what how this would work. Either it'll be either one of them or all of them.
Okay.
And I'll say straight jacket just to like bind
Oh,
one.
that's awesome.
Um, yeah, so I don't know the mechanics very well though.
Cool.
So,
So you do have a special ability that gives you a +1 die on a desperate action. Are we willing to say that trying to just snap cast a straitjacket on four different magic users of some stripe simultaneously is a desperate action?
sure. Yeah.
To be clear, a desperate action means that failure is more painful. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that risk. But
All
you'd get
right.
an extra die out of it. It's the reason I'm asking the question because of your special ability.
Yeah. Let's go for it. This is
Okay.
how I'll learn.
Cool. You're
Pain is a
obviously
good
using your
teacher.
power, so that's
Yeah.
going to give you an extra die. And by the way, Kai, I'm sorry I didn't realize that a power means you gain another die, which is one of the reasons why the die totals are so low. Is if you're bringing a power into a thing, then you get an extra die for it. So Sister Grimm's doing a power. No matter which of the actions you choose, you'll get an extra die on top of that. But let's take a look at the actions. That's the rows 44 through 46. Which one of those nine actions do you think you are engaging to try to do this? It's probably on the tenacity side somewhere, but I want to give you the option of making that choice.
I guess Clash.
You're using magic to entrap them. That feels very clashy to me. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a desperate action. Um, and we're going to say it's a standard effect. You're currently rolling Clash of one die for your power. You can spend stress to get a third die, or if you want, I can offer you a devil's bargain, and if you accept it, it's true regardless of your roll, but you'll get a third die on top of that.
Is there a limit to how many dice I can roll?
There's no limit, but you
Okay.
can't spend stress to get dice and also take a devil's bargain.
Okay. That's good to know. I will hear the devil's bargain then.
Okay, cool. I'm willing to offer this up to other folks who may have an idea as I ponder one. Does anyone have a devil's bargain for Sister Grimm trying to straitjacket these four members of the 404?
It could
Hmm.
increase like magical instability in the area.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so we'll put a clock on that then, right?
Okay.
Nice.
So if you are accept the devil's bargain, then I'm going to put one tick on the four tick clock of increasing magical instability in the area. What does that mean? Bad things, obviously. Bad things will happen.
And when it hits when the clock is done, what happens?
Like I think there will be a small, like minor cataclysm. Magic will go wonky. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Okay. Sounds good. So three dice
Excellent.
and then does the desperate times add a fourth die?
That would the desperate action. Yes,
Oh
you get an
no.
extra die because it's a desperate roll. So you're
Okay.
at four dice.
All right. And then I take a minus 1d to any resistance rolls against consequences. So that's a bad thing.
That is a bad thing, yeah.
All right. Let's go for it. And I want to roll
Four,
four.
fives, or sixes, preferably sixes. So
All right.
think as you click the dice.
All right. I got
Oh, I
six.
saw a five and then I saw a six. That's awesome.
Yay.
Cool. So, what does it look like when you use the staff of one? Where did the staff of one come from? I know there's some blood involved there. Glad we don't have
All right.
any lines or veils on that. And then what does it look like when you straitjacket all four of these 404 mofos?
Uh, I think I just like bite my thumb and put my hand automatically close to my chest and pulls out the staff. Uh,
Just so I want to make sure Zach's aware. You pull this like magically out of your chest as if you just right like it's
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. Love it.
Um, and I pointed at them and I say, "Street jackets." Um,
Nice.
yeah, and I think one of them had like one of their jackets was like uh blinking or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
straight jacket might still be blinking. But yeah, you just see kind of like the things wrap around them, these white restraints.
Nice. Um, so yeah, their jackets wrap around them, lengthen and tether. One of them uh, is so surprised that they were doing a kickflip off of a billboard, and they're now 3 stories up, and they start to fall
Oh.
because the straitjacket has canceled off, done something. It's not great. What do you do? I'll leave this open to all three of you, whoever wants to take an action here. And it's low res, aka the girl that Cruz told you has been to
Ooh.
the rec center a few times, Cassie.
Uh, is the jacket the vulture wears, is that the one that has the wings that you can like swoop out and go
I was
flying
thinking
around?
that, I mean, I don't think he walks around with it.
Hmm.
Um, I was thinking that, so if you saw the clip that Rich shared last week, he can control the wings without wearing them. Um, but like he's currently reluctant to use them because like it will point straight to him and they'll think, you know, not necessarily in this moment right now, but like in general, he's reluctant to use them because, he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. Um, so he wants to get out of his probation his parole um, without that kind of complication. Um, but now is the time to save somebody. Um, so, what if I, what if Frank started running towards her and out of one of the manholes, a smaller version popped up and I jumped on it and it was just big enough for me to put my feet on kind of thing,
Like a glider?
like a glider, like a hobgoblin glider.
Oh,
But
okay. You're already picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't need any pumpkins though. Um, but yeah, that would definitely get me there. I know that's not my shtick, but that's the only way I can think of doing it without bringing out like a bus-sized set of wings, you know?
That sounds cool. It sounds like
Yeah.
you've oh, okay, interesting. So crafty looks like it's more of a downtime thing, right? It's a plus one result level to
So I
your
guess I could
roll.
flash back and pay stress to have made one of these. Like I'll take whatever stress is required, but um,
Um, you
or it's my
also have the
power. It's
ability
I don't.
to custom
Yeah.
that. Okay, it looks like everybody has a custom asset that you can just okay. Yes, let's have you pay one stress for a flashback to creating this not this glider. There we'll call your vulture
This
glider.
one use glider, right?
One use glider.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah, like it still needs some work. I'm not expecting this to work perfectly. Um, okay, then um,
Cool. So you have
yeah,
a one use glider that you can use to engage an action to try to save low res.
yes, I would like to do that.
Okay. Um,
Um,
let's hit an action.
yeah, I think maybe it might be more fun for Tinker in this case
Fun.
than Maneuver. Um, not just because I'd be at lesser effect with Tenacity, but just I don't want to use Maneuver twice in a row. Um, so Tinker, do I get a die from the invent converts technology from others as in my power prompts?
Hold on. I think so. Yes. Sure.
Okay. What is my position in effect?
Ah, I think that the position is risky. Desperate for her. Risky for you. And you'll have a standard effect unless you do something to change that.
Okay, risky standard. I'll roll that. So two dice. Um, I'll use stress to get another one. Is
Okay.
that
If you're boosting your own roll, it costs you two stress to get a die.
okay?
And hopefully during the next week, I'll have enough time to mock up a rules doc to stick in as a tab. That might help folks. I know I shared out the PDF because it is pay what you want, um, but it might be easier if I just have that as a quick reference for folks. So I'll work on that.
Okay, here we go. Whew,
Ooh.
Thank goodness for that five. Um,
right? 115.
yeah, that's awesome. So boom, manhole cover flies up and a glider. What does it look like as Vulture jumps onto this glider and then swoops over to catch low res before she splats on the pavement like a cantaloupe? Hope that's not
Yikes.
too. Is that too much? Like a
No, no, no,
like a
no, no,
watermelon?
that's yeah, well,
Okay.
no, it sets the the consequences really
Okay.
well. Yeah. So I imagine it's like the center um turbine, like or the turbines he has in the wings or whatever, and then it has like places for him to put his feet onto. Um, but and then like it grabs the like something latches over his feet to keep him connected to it.
Oh, nice. I like that.
But like actually driving the thing is insanity. And so like I spin a couple of times as I'm like flying towards her, and I'm like, uh, trying to get the thing under control. Maybe thinking back to like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have made fun of all those skateboarders, or told them to get off my lawn or whatever. So, um, but um, I'm spinning, uh, but I guess I rolled a five, so I managed to connect with the straight-jacketed low res.
Yeah. So you grab hold of Lores and you hold on to her. She was screaming, but her voice was like modulated when it came out through her hoodie. Um, Boom, you slam into her. She's still in the straitjacket. And as you swoop down, you hear the engine on your glider start to sputter.
Mm,
It sounds like it's not long for staying aloft. So we'll deal with that in just a moment.
okay.
Um, though one of the four 404s, numerology is important to these folks. They're like, we really need a fourth. I'm not sure if I'm interested in this. No, but seriously, there's only three of us. We're the 404s. Understood.
There's a quote from the specials about this too. So anyway,
Oh, it's our new trope thing. We'll have to check a box when the specials applies to something in the game. 404 bot, as they are known on the stream, is the only one of the four that is ripping through their straitjacket. Like their hands, you hear this like weird humming, and they're starting to rip their way out of the straitjacket. They landed on their feet on top of a car, and you heard a like metal on metal thunk as they hit the roof of uh let's say it's like a Ford Aerostar van, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
thunk on top of the van. The people in there are like, ah, but it didn't crush them. And yeah, watermelon might have been worse. So it turns to look at you, Sister Grimm, and says, "Me magic is better than Sue magic." What do you do?
Oh, I say that's good to know. Um, so what does this guy look like?
Oh, great question. Um, they you see that they have these weird VR goggles, and their feet have these like converted these like metallic boots that had little pop out wheels, like the what are those called, wheelies, like wheelies that kind of pop
Mm-hmm.
back when they landed and it popped back up to wheels, and they're starting to zip off out. They're wearing the straitjacket trying to rip through it. They have a bulky kind of oddly formed body that seems robotic. You can see there's like chrome on them, uh, and they're trying to zip forward on their wheelies towards you, coming very quickly. There's a weird neon effect behind them, like a Kira, like woo, even though it's early evening.
Oh, then I'll just say Rust and
Oh,
try to do like a Tin Man on him.
oh, that's
Um,
amazing! What a great. Oh, this is going to be so fun. We need to have a tab where we write down all of the spells that Sister Grimm
That
has
was
done.
good.
Oh man, Straight Jacket and Rust so far. Rust is amazing. Let's so you're using a power. Um, although technically it's not. Well, magic, one of your power prompts. There we go. What action are you engaging?
Clash.
Fair enough. We'll call this risky and standard.
Or would it be wrecked? Uh,
Rec
you
feels
try
more appropriate. That's a good point.
we try to four,
In the
six.
end, it's your choice then.
Yep, they're very flexible, these actions.
Right. We'll say wreck just for variety.
I wholeheartedly support variety. So let's have you go. It's risky standard. You wreck plus a power means you're starting with two dice. Would you like to hear a devil's bargain?
Yes.
Cool. The devil's bargain that I offer you, which again means that this will happen regardless of how your dice result, is that the Chaos Caster, aka the Glitch Witch, one of the straitjacketed folks, gets away.
Uh,
Does that mean gets away from the scene entirely or just gets
Yep,
away from Sister
out
Grimm? Okay.
out of the seam entirely. Like it may still be straitjacketed, but they beat feet, and because there's four of them and they're kind of chaotic, this person gets away. That is the devil's bargain I offer. You get a die for that.
I will take it.
All right. Fantastic. So that means that you power plus wreck plus devil's bargain. You have three dice.
Uh,
And
6.
that last die,
Haha.
every time, are these ordered? No, they're not. Because Sister Grimm, your previous roll was 2546, so they're not ordered. It just looked like they were ordered from a few of the previous ones. 621 from an earlier Crucible roll. Sorry. Excellent. So with a six, you do the thing. Oof. So you declare rust, and as this bot comes rushing towards you full steam ahead, the wheels and their boots start to rust away and turn this oxidized orangish color. You hear a modulated shriek of surprise. How thorough do you think that this? Look, does the staff of one make a decision about how thorough rust happens?
I mean, I could say what I intend, I guess, and
Sure.
you can decide for funsies. Yeah, I mean, I wanted him like a statue, uh, but you can tweak that as you'd like.
Yeah, they don't like the centrifugal force, right? The momentum carries. You can just easily step out of the way because they no longer have the ability to direct as they firm up, just like uh the Tin Man, early Tin Man, and they just kind of skate past you, throwing sparks now instead of the cool neon, and then slam into a street lamp, right? And just hit it a heavy, heavy thunk, and slowly slam to the ground. Awesome. Then with Chaos Caster, aka the Glitch Witch, Hobart Brown, beating feet, low res, straight jacketed, and held in Vulture's arms. All that's left is the crew leader, Crash.exe, Johnny Gallo. Um, I'm curious, Crucible. It looks like the other two are a little busy. He sees what's going on, and you see the crash.exe. Maybe it's trying to .exit.
Hmm.
What do you wish to do?
Hmm. Do I see anything like, man, is there anything that I could use around him to like block off his exit? Can I like maybe fire a geothermal blast at something uh, metallic or organic
That's
that'll be like
interesting.
lowish damage, community damage, something easily fixed that just could be like uh, stop him or at least halt his flight to give somebody else a chance to try to stop him.
As you glance around, I think there are a few things that you see that you could use. A well-placed shot against, say, an e-bike that someone's just laid down on the street, kind of skitter shot it into him. Possibility. Um, Maybe there's like a hanging, not a hanging, but like a mounted billboard up on top of one of the that you could knock and it could fall down onto him. That could be an option. Uh, Anyone else have any other things that might be not a terrible amount of property damage that Crucible, who throws fire, can burn to stop someone?
Or the is the billboard like does it have like some sort of slogan or advertisement for something that's
It's an
generally hated?
advertisement for. Oh man, I resist. Should I say it's for Slurm? No, we shouldn't stick Slurm in here. We should not. Oh gosh, what is a oh, it's for an upcoming Wonder Man TV show. A little cross marketing. It's MCU, so
I think
he's like
I'll just
posing, kind of pointing to the muscle, looking cool.
I think that's interesting. I'm gonna shoot that down. I'm gonna try to or like knock it
Have Wonder Man
into
knock him out. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll go for the billboard.
Oh my gosh, there's actually a pic of him in the a teaser trailer now. I did not realize there was a teaser trailer out for Wonder Man already. Crap, I gotta watch that. Oh, it's from 7 months ago. I'm so out of touch. He looks great though. Anyway, sorry. You're the cool one.
Yeah, I'll go for the billboard.
Okay,
That's big enough
fantastic.
that it should
I think that's a
stop him.
desperate. I think that's desperate, right?
All right.
That's a little. You're trying real hard not to damage stuff. So that's a bit of a desperate maneuver. Sorry. But yeah, what do you want to hit from an action?
I'd have a question. My special ability is once per mission, you can make a promise to another character. That's either I'm going to protect you or you're not making out of here alive. I don't want to really use out of here alive, but could I make a
Hmm.
solemn vow to keep Johnny from escaping justice?
Sure.
Okay. So if I do that, the next action roll I make is either in a control position or has great effect.
Okay, that sounds great. So your promise is you're not getting out of here. That's the little action bubble we would see, or
Yeah.
the speech bubble we would see from you if it were a comic. The comic version of our awesome MCU episode. Great. That means that my desperate is no longer desperate. You are in a controlled position.
Okay.
Wow. Or you can choose great effect. Your choice.
I'll do the control position.
Okay. Control position is cool because if you roll like crap, you can reconsider, adjust how you do it, and that control position goes away, and you go into a risky uh, action.
Okay.
So it kind of gives you a free shot.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sounds like wreck, but you tell me, what action do you want to engage?
Yeah, I think because one of the options under rec in the tool tip is you might knock down a tree, or in this case, a billboard. So I think rec is appropriate.
I just want to show a picture of Wonder Man that I found when I went looking. He looks so dope. Oh man, that looks so good. I'm so
Whoa.
Leave it
hyped.
somewhere.
Did I thought I shared screens. Did I
You
share
did.
screens?
Could you zoom in a little bit more?
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure.
Sorry, I've got it as a micro window.
Oh, that W.
Oh, okay.
That's cool design.
It looks good. Looks
Fan art, it
good.
says.
Yeah, it does say fan art. I'm sure. Oh, I'm glad you pointed that out. I don't know. What is it going to look like? It'll probably look different and maybe not as much like Simon from the comics, Simon Williams from the comics. That's okay. It'll look awesome. I'm sure.
That's what it looks like in this billboard, maybe.
There we go. That's exactly it. Thank you. Let's see now. So you're going wreck. You're
Hmm.
using your power geothermal energy blast. So you've got two dice. You're in
Uh-huh.
a controlled position. Would you like to hear a devil's bargain?
I'd like to hear one.
Awesome. So a devil's bargain is that I'm gonna mark a tick on that clock
Oh, all
Second
right.
tick on the magic becomes unstable.
I'm taking it.
Okay.
All right.
Then I'm going to mark that tick and you get another die.
So 3 now and rolling. Oh, got our little freeze up again. So let's try again here. There we go.
Oh, 4, 4, and 5. So 5 means success with a consequence. I You accomplish what you set out to do, but there's an additional complication. The narrator, I should probably not call myself a GM, the narrator, as I'm known in the Caves in the Dark, uh, inflicts a consequence. And I think what happens is even though you are careful, you do exactly what you set out to do. You geothermal energy blast, Wonder Man comes down, whacks Johnny on the head, knocking him to the ground. You do it right in front of Marianne Williams. Marianne Williams, your rival, the sarcastic construction worker, greatest, the president of the best in all of Brooklyn Heights, Fantastic Four fan club, who thinks Crucible is a wannabe Johnny Storm. So she's getting out of we'll say she's getting out of like a robo taxi, right? As
Hmm.
all of this is going on because the robo taxis were the only. Ooh, love that background. That
Nice.
is
Love
so
that.
good.
Thank you.
Especially the font for Vulture. That's super good. Cool. So yeah, she gets out of the robo taxi. This happens right in front of her. She looks over. She sees it's you that did it. I can't believe you, you Human Torch wannabe. And she's going to move over because she doesn't know this guy was a bad guy and try to check him out because obviously he was hurt by your incompetence.
Oh.
So, with the Tin Man statue, Hobart having uh, pulled a quick exit, Johnny being knocked out, and Cassie in Vulture's arms still straitjacketed. The overall threat to Jackson Heights, you guys have put a stop to that, which is wonderful because it's time for us to cut to a commercial. Okay. So Johnny is KO'd, the leader of this, the 404s, Crash.exe. Low res, I think she kind of is a little KO'd right now, Vulture. Like her falling, maybe she passed out. Hobart is gone. The Glitch Witch is gone. And 404 bot is a 404 statue. Um, I'm curious what you do. How does your group handle the aftermath? There was obviously traffic. There's the bus had not crashed, but crashed into the halal cart. Good bit of chaos created there. Are you the kind of folks who protect and then dip? Do you like stick around? And if you stick around, what actions are you taking?
Would
Uh, Go ahead, Rod.
I was gonna suggest what would Toombs want to look at the robot just to see if there's anything, if it's actually a robot, if there's any information you can get out of it.
Yeah, no, I think he'd want to do that, but like later. Um, like I'm sure he's very concerned with like um incidental injuries that people have received. Um, and getting people to a hospital or an ambulance as soon as possible if they need that. Um, so uh he will turn to Nico and say, "Can you get that back to the workshop like now before anybody starts asking too many questions?" I guess I run up to you, see how you're doing, check you out. I'll put my hands on your shoulders without asking, and
You
I'll
don't need to do
look in your
that.
eyes.
I slap
Yeah,
your hand away.
fine, fine. Get whatever this is back to the sorry, uh
Home
the
base.
workplace. Yeah, yeah. Get it back to the workplace.
Back to
Um,
the shop.
The
can
shop.
I
Yeah, that's what
just
he'll call
say
it.
can I just say toy robot and make it like shrink it down to like a size we can carry?
You can say that. Let's see how this goes.
I mean, I can say toy robot and nothing will happen. So let's see what happens
Sure.
when you try.
Sorry, I just realized I'm just gonna put the words in. Oh shoot, that doesn't shift. It's Alt return within a straight jacket rust toy robot.
I think toy robot's a good episode name.
Hmm.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Cool. Let's set a. I think risky. No, no. You guys have won the
Well, how's the
day. I
clock
would
on
say
the
yeah.
magic?
Two
It's
out
a
of four.
2 out of 4. That is a thing that will happen if I don't even know if I want to offer it as a devil's bargain because I don't want you to decline it. So we'll say that you are in a control position. Are you in a control position? No one's fighting you, but there are cops coming this way as well as rescue
Four
squad.
bot would resist if it could.
If it could, indeed, it would not want that. And it is kind of magical, or so it seems. Let's call it a risky position, standard effect.
Okay.
Um, what action are you engaging?
Uh, I don't know. If you
I
have a
think
suggestion, yeah.
Conceal?
Yeah, conceal seems like
conceal
might
sounds
be
good.
appropriate.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Hiding in a crowd?
Cool.
So conceal, which you have a dot in, which means that you're using your power. You're trying to conceal. You had 2 dice. And would you like to hear a devil's bargain?
Sure.
So here's the devil's bargain I'm going to offer. I'm going to offer that we click the magic up by 1. If you decline it, then we don't. But if you decline it and fail, then I will. Does that seem fair? Right? Because it's kind of two different things. I'm just trying to make sure
Because
it
the
doesn't
second one
feel
can
like
be resisted, right?
exactly.
Hmm.
So that's the
Uh,
devil's bargain I offer. Would you like a third of 4 ticks? Get a whole other tick, like 25% chance of this never ever happening. All for a
is
die.
there a way to attack a clock so that it doesn't happen?
For
Or
it will happen. Like if you fill that clock, magic becomes unstable. That doesn't mean you can't research in a way to create more stability within the magical weave after the fact.
The
Absolutely, you
clock can be
can
reduced,
cure it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not easy.
um, I don't think I don't think I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, just don't fail
Um,
now.
but can I use the stress
You
to,
sure can.
Ooh.
So if you want to boost yourself on a roll, you spend 2
yeah.
stress to get an extra die.
Ooh, all right.
2 stress is no big deal. You're fine. So that means wreck, magic power, stress, to stress for a die. You're rolling 3 dice, trying to turn uh, into a toy robot. Poor guy. How ignominious. 404 bot. Oh,
Oh, got a 6.
amazing. Um, that is awesome. Yes. So I think he turns into an action figure version of himself or itself. So it shrinks down. and then shrinks down again to like a Kenner Star Wars GI Joe action figure size, fully posable.
Is it still in the original packaging?
No, it's no packaging. No,
Uh,
it's already out. Can't sell it
Damn.
for anything. I mean, you could put it on eBay, but it's not nearly as much as fresh in box, seal in box. So yeah, I think you hear it, but only you, Sister Grimm, as it says, "Oh, what have you done?"
I'm sorry, what was it about Sue Magic? And I put it in my pocket.
Nice. It grumbles, but says no more because you have roundly defeated its magic. Vulture, you have an unconscious college kid
Are
in
they
your
still
arms in a
in the
straitjacket.
straight jacket? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, they are.
Um, I'm gonna try to call the officers over, the police over, to get them to try to get an ambulance here for this person that fell. And that's about all I'll tell them.
Oh, you covering for him?
I don't want them to ask me who I am, so I just want to get them to a hospital. So I don't want the police to ask me who I am. I just want to get low res to the hospital.
Okay. So, do you feel is it more important for them to not ask questions, or is it more important for them to help low res?
It's more important for them to help.
Okay. Then let's have you. Of course, they're going to help low res,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You say, hey, this person was hurt, but I'd like to see you uh, attempt to conceal your involvement in it, or take an action to keep them from asking you too many questions. If you want to do something other than conceal, since you have no dice in that.
Okay. Uh, Officer, over here. I need some help. This person, they fell. They're in a jacket.
Oh man, it's another one of them magic things. Freaking Doctor Strange. Yeah, I gotta.
Is Nico still there?
I'm around if you need me.
I was just saying, like they just mentioned Doctor Strange, so
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My ears perk up, but then I just see he's just making a reference.
so I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Um, Still, we got to get this kid here. I'm pulling like the old man act, even though I'm
Um,
not old, I'm just
and
mature.
yeah, he reaches for her, and how do you even undo one of these things? Sure, I gotta. It's fine. And then he'll peer closely. Yeah, well, what? Do I know you?
Sure, you know a million guys like me. New Yorkers through and through.
Hey, listen, I need a statement from you. All right, stick around.
Okay.
And then he will look back occasionally as he is carrying the unconscious form of Cassie to.
Well, I'm sure he has a partner that can start asking me questions, right?
Yeah, he's got a partner. Of course he does. So the partner comes over and says, "What happened to her? Did you see?" And she's watching
Well,
him closely. Like pulls out her little notepad thing, starts to ask him some questions.
so I was over here getting my halal, and the bus came and hit, and I looked up, and some kid was falling, and well, I guess my legs are a little bit uh still in college, I guess. So I ran over here, and I'm like realizing how far I just said I've run in a moment or whatever.
She
So
seems a little suspicious. Let's see if you can successfully make a roll here to talk your way out of this.
okay. Uh, uh, I hope my accent isn't horrible.
It's fun. It's
I
fun.
like it.
Sway, okay.
It feels good.
Um,
Yeah, you're trying to sway.
or conceal. I'm
You
trying
tell
to conceal
me.
my. Yeah, let's see. You might hide your secret identity. I think it's conceal.
Okay.
Um, So that starts off as no
I think you're
dice.
risky, and you'll
Okay.
have standard effect. If you succeed at this, she will ask enough questions to where she thinks she can follow up with you later.
Okay. So I'm
Would
gonna
you
roll
like a
two dice and take the
Would you like
lower
a
of the.
devil's bargain?
Oh, is there one available?
Sure. Devil's bargain with you trying to conceal this is mm, the devil's bargain is that Marianne's here and she will vouch for you. You tell me if that's a good bargain or a bad. I'm leaning towards she's going to come in and probably say more than
She's gonna get involved no matter what, is what you're
she's going to get
saying.
involved no matter what.
Okay, I'll take that,
All right, take another die.
which makes it one die. Here we go. Four,
A 4, success with a complication. Cool.
in
So,
addition to her.
in addition to Mary, they're like, okay, well, oh, these seem to move really far. College legs. She seems a little suspicious, and then Marianne comes in. Oh, we work at damage control. It's fine. He's not the one you need to bother with is that girl. And she's trying to point Crucible out. Did you were helping people, right, Sabine?
Yeah, I was actually probably heading over to try to help Johnny out from under the billboard.
Yeah, you see that one right there trying to lift up the billboard? She's probably going to burn it out from under. That's Crucible. She's the one who started this whole thing. And that is our complication, is that Marianne is helping you by throwing Sabine under the bus.
Well, I will have to um, uh, block that then. What's it called again? Resist a complication. I'd like to
Okay.
resist that
All
complication
right.
if that's resistible.
It is resistible,
Um,
sure.
okay. By the way, I'm putting because I always forget the numbers. I'm putting a little bit of Excel code under the load, and it'll when you click on it, it'll show you what your maximum is.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's helpful. I don't know
Very
why.
helpful.
Like, I like that it counts it up, but it feels like a mystery to me of like, okay, but when do I hit the bad one?
Right.
I appreciate that.
Um,
That's helpful.
yeah, no worries. Okay. Um, so um, let's see. I'll go with affinity and say like, oh, come on, you can't be talking about a kid like that. The kid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I roll a die. Oof. I take four stress.
Oh, painful, man. Yeah, you work the gift, but I think it wears you out, right? It's a whole lot of juggling. Maybe you even get in a bit of a shouting match with Marianne.
Yes, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. And then the police person becomes so like agitated. They're like, fine,
Yes,
fine, and they leave or whatever.
exactly. Yeah, she does the
Cool.
thing of like, all right. Yeah. I got important stuff to do. People been hurt. And um, Cassie's taken away, and no one's the wiser to her involvement. Tell me a bit, Crucible, about how you're helping people out. Like, what do you imagine you're doing?
I think I'm probably checking on all the people who were in the vehicles that were involved, like the van and the bus and like the bystanders, and just checking. I think one of the things, actually, quick question for the assets and the loadout that have two boxes, do you have
Mhm.
to check both of those or just one?
That's a great question. Historically, on other keepers, it was always you have to check both of them.
Okay.
Like the armor. When I chose armor, I chose two
Okay.
slots for that.
Yeah, so if you select arm, although they also the tech was to do an equal, so if you checked one, then it checked both. Like if you, I mean, Crucible right now, see how it checked armor, and it
Hmm.
automatically takes two. That's the way I've seen it in the past.
Okay.
If you choose to,
Right. I'm gonna say, because I haven't used anything in my assets yet. I have first aid equipment on me,
that's awesome.
and so I'm applying that for whoever needs it. Uh, Mostly specifically because Johnny is contained right now. I'm taking care of everyone else, and then I'm gonna go over to him to try to like help him out. Or like help up like gather a bunch of like able-bodied people to help lift the billboard off of him. So I'm ignoring Marianne as she's like pointing out that I'm the one who started this and like not even engaging or acknowledging her, just let her sound like the crazy person she is.
Cool. And Vulture intercedes by resisting that. So you ignore, you keep helping. Vulture talks, gets in her face a little bit. The two of them argue. The cop, she goes to do more interesting things rather than get involved in OPP. Sister Grimm, you see what Crucible's up to. You see what Vulture's up to. What are you doing?
Was that
So
directed at
my,
me? I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Sister
Yeah,
Grimm. Yeah, to
disagree.
Bron.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, my instinct is to keep your head down for my days with the Runaways.
Okay.
Don't get noticed.
Like you could be feet. You could just dip. Like you could take that toy robot back to the workshop just like you were asked.
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. So, are you Nico, Sister
Mhm.
Grimm? Are you similar to folks like do you check this on your phone? Do you check to see what what's posted online about this crazy thing or do you not care? Are you not addicted to your phone like that?
I mean, I'm curious how these punks got hold of the magic, man. Maybe that angle I'd be curious about. I don't care too much about publicity unless it's bad, unless it's going to bring unwanted attention. Um, but not for its own sake. But yeah, so I'll look up any information about where these people might have gotten their power from.
Cool. Well, you do see that there are a few folks who are posting about it on, say, like a neighborhood, the Jackson Heights friend group,
Mhm.
not next door, um, but similar to that. And if you happen to check out the live stream from the 404, it is down.
Hmm.
Um, but then there's a glitchy feed from the Glitch Witch, and he's posting about you guys and how you're um, basically cops. We were out having some fun. He shows some of the cool tricks that they were pulling off, and then all of a sudden, and there's a bit of the stream. We see Sister Grimm and the straight jackets. We see they cut away before Vulture saves her, but shows the fall of Lorez, shows the billboard being knocked down by fire, like all of the chaos, but it's all cut so that it looks like you guys are just beating up on some fun loving punks.
Do they know who we are?
They I don't think Sister Grimm's like you tell me. I don't think Sister Grimm's a person who's been in like a public team and isn't public about who she is at this point. But it's really up to you if that's the thing you're interested in.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like Faye. I mean, I would be if I were known, I would be known for being one of those kids that had gone missing, that one year, that group that, everyone was looking for. Um, but that was back in LA, I think, right? Or it was in California.
Yeah, it was in Cali.
So New York might not care about that news story. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, she might be able to dig and find out who I am, but maybe
Let's
not
say at
immediately.
this point, Hobart has is posting and doesn't know who you are. It's a
Right.
couple of grainy. The photos of you are very unclear. You could be one of 100 people on the street, but that staff is
Mhm.
definitely in focus. And while he's wearing the jacket, we do see the back of Vulture on the glider, heading forward. We just don't see that he's going to catch uh, low res,
Hmm.
and we definitely see Crucible, like the big flame hand thing, fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, is that fair? Everybody cool with that? All
Yep.
right, awesome. Um, and everything is pitched and angled and toned to make you guys into the menace.
I mean, we are.
Of course, obviously. But you can make it back to your wondrous workshop with no further incident, Sister Grimm. You just realized that right now you guys are getting drugged. There are so many comments like during the stream, oh, these guys are the worst, man. Oh, we've got to dox them. We need to get them. We need to get them back for the 404. And like random threats from anonymously named internet trolls.
Mm.
So, yeah. Sabine, some folks come over, a few folks you recognize, a couple of the, like a person from the rescue squad comes in, and you guys start lifting up the
Hmm.
billboard, and
Yep.
someone skitters underneath and pulls Johnny out from that so that Crash.exe can get his injuries tended to. And he looks like rough. A billboard
Mm.
fell on him, but he doesn't. He's nowhere near dead.
Okay.
He's just got clocked by a whole freaking billboard.
Right. I think after he gets out, I'll then like thank everybody, and then I'll continue next action, next thing. I'll take out first aid kit and start tending to his injuries and like where does it hurt? Does anything feel like it's broken? Just kind of running through kind of a checklist. And it's like,
Nice.
hey,
I like it.
you're do I recognize him as also being one of the kids who hangs out by the rec center? Or was it just Cassie?
I think it's interesting if Johnny Gallo um yeah he he was hanging out with Cassie at the rec center, and
Hmm.
she was the one who was going to college, and he was yeah, that's great. I'm gonna too, but hasn't actually signed up.
Okay, cool. I think as I'm looking over his injuries and tending to him, I'll just say, just Cassie's okay. She's taken to the hospital. Everything's under control. You guys did some cool things, but you also put some people in danger with some of your antics. Uh,
You're going
just
down.
what'd you say? What'd he
You're
say?
going down.
For
I saw what you did.
what is it you think I did? Hold still.
Nice. And yeah, there's like a little bit of blood coming down from his head. You've taken off his gear. You see that he is um like his head shaved on the sides. He's got these weird little neon tattoos that look like they're glowing oddly.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you ask, what do you think I did? I saw your hands. I saw what you can do.
I lift him up. These hands, the ones that are that helped you get out and are now taking care of you?
Ooh, do you want to try to sway him?
Can certainly try.
Yeah. You can hit another
Intimidate
action.
him.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like maybe I'm not really calling his bluff, but essentially like making him sound like I'm essentially I'm gaslighting him is what I'm doing.
It's kind of sort of exactly what you're doing. Yep, yep.
But all for the cover.
I mean, yeah, that's understandable.
Okay.
So
Uh,
we'll say risky
okay.
because there are a couple of authority figures here who could overhear this conversation and be convinced that you were involved. Standard, but I'm offering you a devil's bargain. I can make a tick on that clock if you're
Uh,
interested, because there's still two ticks. I didn't get to do the third one from the
yeah.
previous. Nobody took it.
It's highly unlikely it would fill the whole thing up
So
anyway,
unlikely.
right?
All right, here you go.
Let's do
Take
the
that die.
take the devil's bargain then.
Yeah.
All right. Rolling.
Okay. You got so many dice. It's gonna go perfectly.
Like a mad amount of dice.
Ooh.
Let's see. There we go. Four is the highest.
Okay. Success with a complication. You think it's fair if the people around him buy it? Like nobody's listening to what he's having to say, but he's still convinced that you. Okay,
Yeah, totally.
cool. Awesome. So he can't get folks to rise up against you. um, and then the last question I'll have for this little part of the scene is, do you allow him to lie and say he had nothing to do with all the damage?
Nope. I don't. I think what he's trying to do to me, I'm kind of turning back at him, and I think I'm actually lecturing him on all the dangers that he's caused and the people he put in harm's way, and how it could have gone much worse uh, if whoever caused the billboard to fall didn't do that. And like basically, like I'm acting as though I was a bystander and I witnessed everything, not that I was involved in causing it. And I'm taking care of him, but I'm also like directing everybody else's attention to the fact that he was involved, and if there's any officers nearby, like calling that into effect too.
Okay. Man, he's going to be so bad. I think we can let that go. I would love to pull you guys back and with the remaining time that we have, try to work through a little bit of downtime, and we can finish the downtime next week when we meet back up again.
Cool.
So we don't have to rush through any of it. I think it would be interesting to at least get a bit of the taste of downtime. I am in the process of adding the 404s to our NPCs tab. I do have a pick for low res.
Oh, nice.
But let's talk about downtime. So you all got a little bit of stress. By the way, that clock, it's going to stay. I know, right? You stepped away. It's at 3 ticks. Somebody selfishly took a devil's bargain die to push to 3. I tried to talk them out of it, but they're like, "Nah, I'm greedy. Greedy for the dice," is what they said. I'm not going to tell you who it
Verbatim.
was verbatim. But you all got a little bit of stress. We have some cool things happen. Now we get to talk about downtime. And I am going to jump down to downtime scenes. So there are a number of downtime scene options. You can, during downtime, each each cape, each PC can frame two scenes using one of the following scene types described in the book on page 95. You can cut loose. Um, you use that to clear stress. You can train, which means you spend time in training and you get to mark 1 XP on your XP track. Or you can mark it on your team's XP track, your choice. You can choose a side mission, which means you, a teammate, a companion, an ally, or a rival can work together during downtime to go on some kind of side mission. Um, the side mission scene is a thing that we would frame, and you'd have a dice pool you'd build. Basically, it's like an action, right? Um, so side mission, um, train, cut loose. You can have a long-term project. For example, Rod, when we talked about the magic going unstable, if we'd filled that clock and magic would be unstable in that part of Jackson Heights, you could create a long-term project. Sister Grimm is doing research to try to stabilize the magic there. That's a thing that we could do. However, the fourth tick isn't happened, so that hasn't happened yet. You still could work on a long-term project to make it more stable and just take those ticks down. So it hasn't gotten terrible. You just know it's on the edge of it and you'd like to take an action. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving an example of a long-term project. Crafting, you can craft something, discuss with the narrator the goals of the item, what you want it to look like. You start a project clock to track your progress towards making that item. Um, and that's a crafting, like that's a thing that will exist. It's not just a one use item, it's a new piece of gear that you can create. You can lay low. Um, you can spend some time out of costume, manage your exposure, and modify your esteem clocks or your status. We're early on. I'm not super worried about that. We'll talk more about that as we get into the game, so I wouldn't necessarily spend time on that. You can make a public appearance to interact with the community, and that creates a connection clock with the populace of the city, but we'll call it like Jackson Heights, Queens. And when you do public appearance scenes, you do a thing and you add ticks to the clock and as if you were working on a different kind of long-term project, and then it creates a more positive esteem, like you moving your esteem clock towards heroism by doing public appearances. You can also recover if vultures hadn't been protected by Crucible. This would be a thing that Kai could choose to do to get rid of the condition. And so I'm going to type all of those in our Zoom chat. And again, this will be a thing I'll stick into my rules tab helper. But for now, these are the downtime scene types: cut loose, train, side mission, long term project, crafting, lay low, or Lawlow is what I started to type, but I'm going to instead type lay low, public appearance, and recover.
Lilo and Stitch.
Do Abby, are you gonna bring out a Stitch for us to summon?
It's funny because the people that I'm sitting for got me it's a bouquet of blue flowers. And there's a little stitch on top with the crown, but I already took it home earlier
Aw.
today.
That's right, because Kai's dog sitting, right? We haven't even heard the
Yeah.
dog. I thought we were gonna hear more dog stuff. Who
They've
does
been
anyone?
barking. You just haven't heard them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoom. Your technology is great. Does anyone have a downtime scene they want to jump forward and suggest or throw out? Maybe we'll let Rod go first, if
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got
yeah,
one in
yeah, yeah,
mind,
yeah.
because I know you got to cut out a little bit early.
Should I just tell you what they are and
Sure,
or
just tell us the first one and
oh
we'll talk it through.
oh okay side mission.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, gonna try to find out where how these guys were able to access their power.
Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. Sounds like you're doing an investigate. Let's build that die roll. What action
Okay.
would Sister Grimm be engaging?
So investigate have 0.
Oof.
Uh,
You could also ask around, right? Instead of you doing the
right.
research, you can
Oh
ask
yeah.
around.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll set up a fake account and on the like the 404's main page or whatever.
Uh huh.
Can I use Sway then to try to
It's the
get
40
people to talk?
fans. Just to be
The 40 fans,
correct, the 40
yeah.
fans. So you set up an account on the 40 fans, and you're going to try to what maybe sway some folks to talk a little bit about.
Exactly, yeah.
What's their history? Oh, that sounds awesome. I love that. So let's have you build that thing. We're in downtime. You can still offer up. You can take a devil's bargain if you want. Double checking here to make sure that I'm not misspeaking. You're doing a side mission. Okay, engagement roll. As if making an engagement roll. Oh, okay, interesting. So build a dice pool by answering the following questions as if making an engagement roll. Oh, interesting. Okay, so who is involved in this? Are you doing this solo?
No, I guess I'd ask Toombs to help.
Okay. Um, does everyone on the side mission have the same goal?
Yeah,
Yes?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Just double checking with Zooms. Okay, that means you start with one die. Now we have some more questions. Do any of your powers give you a leg up on trying to infiltrate the 4O fans?
Any of my powers.
Yeah.
Yes, I know about magic, so I can talk about magic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I was thinking that would be a no, but you're right. These are magic related folks, so you can talk a little bit. Okay, so that gives you a second die. Is any character affected by a condition that might impact you on this side mission? Think the answer is no?
Okay.
I might
Uh,
slow you down because I don't understand the speak that they're doing online. I don't speak that language.
And then does this side mission target a rival or the arc antagonist? And I'm going to say that this is one of the arc antagonist's minions. So
okay.
that subtracts 1d. So we went up one, down one. So we're back down to one. And then are you to giving this mission your all? If so, you may spend 3 stress collectively and add one more d. So two. Oh, it actually says the stress may only be spent by the player framing the scene. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you're willing to spend 3 stress, you can get a second die. Otherwise, it's a one die.
Ugh, it's horrible. Um,
A 1 to 3 on this result means that you would choose 2 complications.
all right.
Um, a crit, which means, well, 2 dice, 2 6s, you would choose 2 accomplishments. Um, a 4 to 5 is 1 complication, 1 accomplishment, and a 6, 1 complication and 2 accomplishments. And there's a big list that I'll just show you because it's a
Interesting.
lot.
So how much do downtime activities reduce stress by?
If you were for your second downtime activity, if you were to cut loose, then you
Uh,
roll dice as if you're making a resistance roll, and you heal stress equal to the result of the highest die. But if you say you have 4 stress and you roll a 5, you clear all your stress, but you also get carried away and have to make a choice from just a little bit of a complication as a result of going overboard, as it were.
right.
But
All right.
back to the side mission. Do you wish to spend 3 stress to get yourself a second die?
Sure.
Okay. This is exciting. I'm so happy you're choosing the side mission because I have not seen this in play. I haven't seen any of this stuff in play, technically.
All right, let's go for it. 3 and a 5.
A 3 and a 5. That 5 means that you rolled in the 4 or 5 range. You choose one complication and one accomplishment. Let me put the complications and accomplishments in our keeper. Under the special rules, which is the rightmost tab, I'm going to stick that pick in there. It's just going to be you get one of each, one complication, one accomplishment. And these are flexible, right? If we need to talk it through for it to make sense for what you were doing, I'm completely open to that idea. Here we go. And now I got to expand that so it's actually big enough to read. Give me a sec and I'll have that for you.
Ooh, there are reached your limit choices possible as well.
So complications, team takes issue with your actions, reduce your status with them by one, and increase mayhem by one. A complication comes from somewhere you're not expecting. Roll in a steam entanglement now. You're injured, hurt, or otherwise harmed during the side mission. The side mission takes more time than you expected to add a tick to the goal clock of another team as time passes. Choose the option from the despair list as if you'd reached your limit. Wow. I will show you this despair list if that's what you are interested in looking at. Accomplishments. Gain some intel that's either interesting or important, your choice. Acquire an asset, some kind of specialized gear, or access to a specialist for the next mission. Take plus 1D on your next engagement roll, which is what we will do the next time you guys go on a mission. Derail a faction goal. Remove a tick from a goal clock. Um, Choose an option from the silver lining list as if you had reached your limit. So the silver lining and reach your limit, that's all up on row 10 of that same tab, despair and silver lining. If you want to look at those. That's a lot to go through. So I'm going to
Is,
give you a moment to read through some things, Rod, and
Okay.
pop over to Zach or Kai to
do you
see.
need to go
I do.
now?
So
Oh,
I
I
will
thought you needed to go
post.
with 10. I'm sorry. I mistimed it. That's right. You need to go with a half hour.
Yeah.
So think about it. We'll talk about it next week. No
Cool.
problem.
All right. I'll see you
Sorry I
guys.
kept
Thanks,
you
See
over.
everyone.
ya.
No
Bye.
worries.
Bye.
It
Bye.
stuck in my head that it was like 15 tails. Sorry, Rod. Okay. Well, I did all that when I should have not. But oh well. There we
Oh well.
go. We are where we are. Hello. Let's do some downtime stuff for the next little bit. We'll end a bit early, but unless we don't.
We'll
I'd
see.
like to add a detail to Sabine's last scene.
Ooh.
Um, like when it's all said and done, like the screen turns a little bit gray and fish-eyed and pulls back a little bit, and like I'm watching the scene on like the television that has of the camera that's in the room, so I'm like you know judging Sabine as she works with the guy.
That's
Like that.
cute.
Love it.
Cool. So do either of you have a downtime you're interested in?
Question.
Yeah.
So one of the ones that I was looking at was lay low, but I think I'm guessing with both Vulture shouting at Mary and then also me uh like persuading everybody I had nothing to do with it. Is our esteem at zero? It didn't go down at all?
I will become more like fluid with
Sure.
using the Steam clock. I imagine that I should have been clicking the villainy. I'm going to say we stuck one villainy on there because Marianne decided, no, you resisted it.
Yeah.
So, oh wow, this cool skulls pop up when you click on the villainy. That's so cute. Sorry. Ooh, and you get flames when you click heroism. So, to answer your question, Esteem was at 0. You can move it positive, though. That would take a public appearance instead of laying low.
Oh,
Right.
that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
it's bidirectional heat.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, since I am very much trying to act as though I am not I'm a mutant or a hero or I'm just a normal person. I'm not going to do a public appearance. Instead, could I train?
Absolutely, you can train.
And
You
it
get an
looks like
XP.
one of the training things, it could be physical or could also be kind of like mental.
Hmm.
Could I like train with Cruz to have him help me learn how to, I don't know, like hacking training or like sleuthing,
I
digital
don't
online
blame you for
sleuthing?
wanting to learn more of my elite hacking skills.
I feel like, I mean, between the other two and myself, I just can't like, I don't really know what's going on here, and I feel kind of useless most of the time. So it even just give me like rudimentary like intel knowledge, like just set me up to go on my own, and then I can help you out too, not have to make you take time to do my pet projects.
I mean, that's my whole job. I'm the guy in the chair. But
I
yeah,
mean,
I want you to be able to help yourself, of course. I got you. So he will help you to train on some elite hacking skills.
excellent. Do I mark that just in the XP, the horizontal XP
Hmm.
tracker? Cool.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm sure Heidi would be very happy to hear is that it appears this just has one XP track.
Oh,
Nice.
right. Now, is there any kind of training that we do that we have that's better than other kinds of training? I know that Blaze normally has that.
Um, you
Like
can
our
get,
crew is better at, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, there's a crew benefit you can choose
Okay, but
under
it's
the
not automatic.
Mavericks that will give you better training.
Got it.
Otherwise, it's one for one.
That's a really slow progress, but
Uh,
at
It
least it's across the board.
exactly. It's like slower, but also maybe faster. It's a lot of XP. I
yeah.
agree. But we also have end of session
Right.
XP, and that should speed things up a little bit. Cool. So you're training. That sounds good.
Cool. Yep.
What about Vulture?
So I have an idea, but um, some of it may go too far into the storyteller's role. So you can tell me to back off or shut up or whatever.
Okay.
But I was thinking that Jennifer calls me in because um, Low Res now has Murdoch for a lawyer, and I need to, you know, be told how to deal with. Like, I want to bring in Daredevil as my villain, my the one that I get antagonist to. And
Hmm.
so I was thinking that maybe he picked up Low Res, thinking that I attacked him because he knows that I'm a villain or whatever. And then maybe he sent because you're supposed to send you don't talk to the person, you talk to their lawyer, and my lawyer is Jennifer. So I was thinking that Jennifer might call me in to let me know all these things, but not necessarily a scene, and I couldn't figure out how it fit on the list. But I'll just throw that out there.
Okay.
If
I'm
if that's not
happy to
something I
have
could
that
do,
complication. That is interesting. Um, I think I will reshape it a little bit that
yeah,
Pug, who is a member of the firm,
okay,
is the person who reaches out to you to say, "Hey, just so you know, this person has sought counsel, and I don't think she would sue you, right? She just the counsel is asking a lot of questions about your involvement. Yeah,
yeah, that's
that
fine.
seems
Yeah, 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 that's cool.
I like that
Um,
complication.
so maybe I've got a long-term project of dealing with like appearing in court or something like that, like
Fun.
proving,
Just trying to keep
yeah,
yourself still active, but not being
yeah, keep myself on the parole
sidelined.
program and not sent back to jail. Yeah.
Fun. Okay, cool. Let's have you frame up how you're going to try to work on that project clock.
Okay. Um, well, how about I go and talk to the the halal guy and see if he'll be like a witness
Oh,
or if he
character
just wants to
witness.
stay out of it. Yeah, character witness.
Yeah, and I think if you roll well, he's more than happy to. And if you don't roll well, then he's got a lot of complications and either flakes
You,
on you or says straight up, "No, I can't because of X, Y,
yeah,
and Y." That sounds
maybe
fun.
immigrants aren't, you know, so happy to talk to the police. Um,
Could
so
be.
I'm gonna try to connect with them.
Oh,
I'm gonna
nice.
convince them through honesty and conviction.
So, yeah, you end up having to ask around because this guy's
Oh, sure,
you
sure.
knew where
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was, but his cart's trashed now. So,
Okay, yeah, so I need to investigate.
no, 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 you can connect. I just wanted to like in my head, the color was that you couldn't just find him at the halal. You actually
Sure.
ended up having to maybe even connect with a few people to be able to find and connect with him. I'm not saying that as a roadblock. Just it made sense in my head that the place you would normally find him, he can't be there because his cart's destroyed.
That makes total sense. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. But you do find it. I think you find him at the rec center.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe we can have that in some scenes. That sounds fun to me. He still has a place to stay, but maybe he's come to the rec center to talk some people. Maybe there's a some business assistance he can get. He's trying to file a claim.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So, I mean, in the real world, if Hokum declared a state of emergency, then you're allowed to restate your taxes and get, money back as if it had
Mm-hmm.
happened in
Mm-hmm.
the previous year. So maybe that's what he needs help with. Um, so maybe he's there doing that, and I show up and I talk to him.
Sounds good.
Do you mean a roll or do you want to role play
Yeah.
or
Let's let's start off with a bit of role play. I mean, God
okay.
forbid, yeah, we can do that thing every once in a while. And then dice will hit the table, and that will help me with my answer. So you find him in, let's say there's like a little small business center that's attached to the rec center area, and you, of course, don't. I would imagine not barge in, but wait
No,
around until
no,
he gets
no,
out of
no,
his
no.
appointment, and I should probably give him a name. Uh,
Hal, the halal guy.
sure, everybody calls him
No,
Hal.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hal and Al, the halal guy.
Oh,
Oh, that's too much. Uh, it's cute, but I think no.
Yeah, no, please don't. Please don't.
What about? No, I don't love that name. Sorry, I'm looking for some appropriate names of people who actually have
Hakeem?
halal cards. Hakeem is a good name. I like Hakeem, and I'm actually going to stick him on our NPCs tab, and we'll find pictures for him or not. But we have him in. Oh goodness, I think I hid all the others. Oh, I did not. I deleted them. Why did I do such a crazy thing? Cool. So, Hakeem comes out of the meeting that he was in, and does he recognize you? I don't know. Do you look the way you normally that you looked before, or would he
Yeah, but I'm
recognize you?
like a white guy in New York, so
It's true. You all look the same. Okay.
I'm just saying like it's possible either way. Either he recognizes the person that pushed him to the ground or he doesn't, you know.
You know
Um,
what? I'm gonna use a die of fate, die of fortune, fortune die. Here we go. Boom. He does not recognize you. Hey, and
oh,
then looks like he's moving
Hakeem,
on.
it's me, your Wednesday guy. So always shows up for the Euros. You got
Oh,
hit by the
hey,
buzz. Yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay?
Thanks to you, my card not so good, but I filed a thing. So, you know, when that goes through, everything will be okay. Hey, man, you
Good.
you really you came through for me there. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And he puts his hand on the back of his head for a second. He's like, listen, I'm a parolee, okay? And being at the scene of a crime, they they're putting some pressure on me. I was wondering maybe if you'd be willing to give like a character witness, tell them, I saved you and all. Not that I saved you, I saved us. I tried at least. Um, Up to you, of course. I don't want to talk to the cops. I don't on the best day. So
And now we'll pause, and you get to hit some dice.
click, clack, math, runks. Here we go.
Ooh.
Seeing as I have zero in this skill, I was gonna be like, well, the lowest of the two is a one because they're both a one.
You can choose the left or the right. It's really up to you.
I'll go right die today. Right
Okay.
die.
And then I I really can't. Um, I got enough trouble trying to keep my license. I got to work through some cousins of mine. If I get
Yeah, I
involved with the
understand.
cops, you know,
I do. I do. I I do.
though, I think I know a few people who were there. Maybe I could find somebody who could speak
You
up
know
for you.
what?
I'm sorry, man.
You got a lot on you. It's okay.
I'm sure this will work out. And like free halal for you for a year for you, man.
One
I'm
free halal.
serious.
One free halal. That's fine.
Okay. And he kind of pats your arm, apologetically, but he is
Right?
not going to get involved.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
I think that's still a tick though, or
It
is this like
it is still a tick. Even on a
okay?
miss, you get a tick towards it. Just that specific thing. Maybe it's the tick of him saying, I'll ask around. I can find somebody who will speak for you."
Yeah, yeah. Or at least knowing that that's not going to be the direction I need to go in or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Sweet. So Sabine, aka Crucible, any
Hmm.
downtime actions?
I did the training one.
Okay. You get
You
two.
get two
You
of
get
them.
Do you want
two.
to
Yeah.
save the one for next week, or do you want to take it that second one now?
Mm, close the thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait and consider some of the options.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, I
Then
need to cut
Kai,
loose. Yeah,
you
because
want
I
to
have
cut
like
loose a little bit?
I have a million stress.
You
So
do have a lot. You're very stressed, poor old man. You just can't
I
hold things
know.
like you used to. There's
Oh,
no
my
way
hair's
for you
gonna
to
turn
stress
white.
out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there are lots of ways to frame up a cut loose is wrestle, relax, grow closer to your teammates. Choose a teammate or your ally or your rival and work with their player or the narrator to describe a scene where your character is mentally coping with the stress um, of all the stuff you're going through. Oh, you
I
decide to
think.
move the picks up of the. Oh, that's funny. I keep you move the picks around. Sorry, I should
Well, I
have
just
done
wanted
this
to.
one.
Oh, are they otherwise on my sheet? I just didn't know
Yeah,
where they were.
you're down on rows 115. But yeah, that's cool to have them
Oh,
near.
got it. Right. I didn't even put colors behind them. Got it.
Yes, you
My
have.
bad.
It's not bad.
I'll
It's
make
fine.
it. Yeah, 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 yeah. What's also interesting is that Nico's got one Asian face in one picture and another Asian face on Imgur, and it's just
Yeah, that's correct because someone decided to insert the image instead of changing the URL. So I'll
yeah.
fix that.
What? Yeah. All right. Cool. So, um, I think I'm knocking on Sunset's apartment door
Ooh, nice. Ooh,
with a bottle of wine in hand.
I I like that scene so much that I don't know if I want to rush it because we still have to do end of scene questions. So how about we set that up, and that's if you're still interested in it next week, that's what we can lead with. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's a end credit scene.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Sweet. So let's do our end of session. We have some questions. The Mavericks have questions, and then each of your PCs have questions. We're going to do those. All right, for your team, where are you? Okay, at the end of the session, mark XP if you change the city community in a way that will outlast you. I think yes, because you guys saved mass destruction from happening that would take a very long time uh, to solve or fix. And then mark XP for each arc beat satisfied. You satisfied one arc beat. So two team experience. Who wants to mark the XP there?
I can do that.
Cool. Vulture, you have some questions for your character in I know they're here somewhere. Where are they? Stress XP. When you roll oh, I forgot. We need to mark one for Sister Grimm because Rod rolled a desperate action. So I'm saying this out loud so folks can help me remember when Rod says, "Why do I have one XP?"
Okay.
So let's start with Vulture. You did you
Already marked
address
that
a
XP. Yeah.
did you address a challenge with cleverness or poise?
Well, it certainly wasn't poised when I was arguing.
I think you were
Um,
pretty clever that you had
but I was close.
a backup plan with your glider. So I think
Yeah,
an XP for that works.
cool.
Um, did you express your origin background? Oh, did it occur multiple times? Cleverness or poise?
Um, if that's allowed in this system.
It is. That's why there are two
Okay, good.
boxes there.
Oh, I see. I see. I see the little dot dots. Okay. Um, I mean, I was being kind of clever by watching Sabine, but it wasn't a challenge. Uh,
Doesn't say you do it in a challenge, so sure.
it says you addressed a
You
challenge
address the
with,
challenge. Yeah.
Okay, fair, 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 fair.
but I did track down Hakim, so I think that would be clever.
Works for me. Good.
Okay.
2 XP there. Did you express your origin, background, or drives?
My background came up, being a parolee.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
where are my drives at?
Your drive is to repair what has been broken and support those who need help.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I did that twice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
works
I
for
did
me.
one background and one drive. Yeah.
Did you struggle as a result of your powers or your relationship to the city?
Well, the police came over to talk was complicated. But we kind of hit that already. Um, my little hobgoblin thing went spinning in circles, so I'm not sure if that counted or not. Um, but otherwise, no.
Okay. And let's see. There's a special ability unintended special ability XP trigger, but you haven't taken the special ability yet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 5 XP.
It's halfway up.
Crucible. Did you address a
Nice.
challenge with leadership or leveraging your reputation?
Mm, I'd say no for leveraging the reputation 'cause it's kind of really low for the most part. Oh, well, I guess the challenge of like getting Johnny out of, and then convincing
Yeah.
everyone around me that I'm
Yes,
shipshape.
I think that definitely should give you at least 1 XP.
Okay.
We
And I think like, you know, just immediately taking action to like stop him, right? Like that's leadership, right? Like you're showing others act. We don't have time to think or ask, right?
Mm,
I don't know. I would see that as
Yeah.
some leadership.
okay, cool. All right.
Let's hit the next one. You expressed your origin, background, or drives. Um, origin,
Origin being mutant.
yeah, background and drive. It's all there slightly above the questions I'm asking.
Well, I mean, your
Yep.
origin was the fire powers, right? Is
Right.
that not a way of expressing it?
Also like that could be the drive too, because protecting Vulture by literally
Hmm.
taking the heat.
I could definitely see one for that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think it occurred a second time?
Uh, Either that or like the background, like um rallying the community.
Okay. Cool. Then 2 XP there.
Cool.
Did you
Uh,
struggle as a result of your powers or your relationship to the city?
no, I don't think I struggled. I kind of evaded having to struggle. So I'm saying no to that one.
All right. Then you are at 5. Well, you had, let's see, you marked one, so you got 4 total. Is that right, or 5?
I should have five because the other one's from training, I think.
Oh, right. So you should have 5.
4, 5. Yep.
Excellent. So that does the XP stuff. We'll quickly go through some stars and wishes before we end things.
Did
Oh
we
my.
want to make sure to have Rod go through end of session XP at the beginning of next time?
We do.
Okay.
Yes. Um,
And you've got another. We both have another downtime
yes.
action to take.
Right.
One downtime for Crucible, one for Vulture, 2 for
Nico.
Grim, XP for Rod. That's my wish, is to do those things.
Two of the
Let's start with
things.
wishes so we end with stars. Zach or Kai, who would like to go first with wishes?
Uh, you already did it in this one, but I want Marianne to cause even more trouble.
Okay. I'll keep that in
I'd
mind.
like to see the 4-0 fans at some point having like a rave, but like with magic and stuff.
Mm,
Sounds good. Excellent. These are good wishes. I can't wait to work to grant them together with you. So, wishes are done. Let's hit some stars. Kai, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars. Did you have any stars from today's session?
Yeah. I mean, Nico was bringing it, just
hmm
like pow, 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 spell, spell, spell. I liked that.
Loved it too.
Right out the
Very
gate,
cool.
you know? Um, and I really liked the scene that Sabine had when she was, patching up. Uh, what's his name? Johnny?
hmm
Johnny was what she was calling. Anyway, and the whole like, these hands? I liked that.
That was great.
Um, and the opening, good Lord,
Yeah.
blew me away. It was amazing. I felt like it was like a combination of like a Spider-Verse movie, um, mainly like a Spider-Verse movie, but with like magic. I could see it all in my head. I really liked it. Um, so
Awesome.
Yeah. It was cool. I love like specifically naming that group the 404 slash not found was really cool. I like too that we have started tracking the name of the spells that Sister Grimm is casting. That could be a fun like scene too. It's like a pocket scene. It's like, how do you keep track of all these? Like, and I'm looking forward to maybe like catching her out on like, oh, you already used that one.
I'm hoping, but Rod's pretty darn creative,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's true.
chances are slim, but we shall see. We shall
Uh,
see.
I love the start of the whole like chaos flying with a hovercraft for Vulture and in circles and
Oh yeah,
like
Chaos
narrating the
Craft.
partial success. Like that was cool.
That was fun. Excellent. Cool. I really enjoyed these characters seeing Crucible immediately go to work to actually actively help people. I was curious about having a scene where we don't just, okay, the action sequence is over, we cut away from the chaos of the aftermath. And I wasn't sure if that would end up going feeling flat, but it was really fun. I'm very happy that I did because we got to see Crucible genuinely doing something to help folks out, not just when there's a big bad. That
Mhm.
was fun.
I
I
think if I would take that back to even just regular blades, right? Like the denouement to the mission should be like setting up some of the heat or something like that. Anyway,
that's
I'm
a
just saying like
really
it
good
worked really
point.
well. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I was very curious because I wasn't sure, but I had a feeling you guys are probably gonna pants the 404s on this first. And so I was like, well, how are they going to handle? Like, are they going to rat these guys out? Screw you. You guys go to jail. Screw you. And I was very curious to see how you would react to it. And kind of excited about the reactions and where things are going to head next. I'm glad one of them got away and got to
Mhm.
drag your reputation. I'm excited about that. It's good stuff. Really, I love the accent, Kai. Keep it going. It's fun. I'm an accent
Yes.
admirer. I know even when it's hard, sometimes I get nervous about doing accents, and as long as you do it with respect, and you're not super like trying to lampoon a thing, then it's good.
Oh
It's
yeah.
okay. It
Yeah.
adds to it. I know you don't. I just that's the
No, no,
rule I
no.
try to
Yeah, no.
keep in my head.
That's great. Yeah. I'm just channeling my old manness. So,
Awesome. With that, we will bring things to a close. Thank you both so much for playing, and with that, we'll stop the
oh,
recording.
check with Rod to see if he's okay with it being posted
I
if you
will,
haven't
of
already.
course. Yeah, I will. Thanks so
Okay.
much.